Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram. Salutations to Bhagavat Pada Shankaracharya, the embodiment of the Shrutis and Smritis and the Puranas, who is full of compassion and who is the benefactor of the world. Atmabodha, self-knowledge. Those who are following it on their books, we are on verse 41. The Supreme Self, on account of its being of the nature of exceeding bliss, does not admit of the distinction of the knower, knowledge, and the object of knowledge. It alone shines. The Sanskrit is Jnatri Jnana Jneya Bheda Pare Natmani Vidyate Chidananda Aika Rupatva Dipyate Swayameva Tat. That's Swayameva. Now there are a couple of things here we need to have a look at. In Vedanta, we have something called the Triputi Bheda, the three distinctions. What is that? The knower, the subject, the object of knowledge, and what connects them? Knowledge. The knower, knowledge, and known. This is there in everything, in every thought, word, deed, everywhere. The mind functions on this. This is the Triputi Bheda. It is in a way bondage also. If you have the knower, there has to be a known object. You cannot say, I don't know anything. Even that, I don't know anything itself is a kind of object of knowledge. So the knower, the subject, is always there. And what links the knower with the object of knowledge is knowledge. Jnatri is a subject, the knower. Jnana is knowledge which connects. And Jneya is that which is to be known. Jneya. Okay? This is always there in everything. Close your eyes and it's there. See how these Vedantic rishis, they understood. They understood what is psychology. If you search for an object, who am I, who am I? People now go and study Vedanta and who am I, who am I? You always have to have the object of this I. Always. And if you say who, you are ignorant. Yeah, all right. When you have the who am I, so please don't go around saying who am I. Okay? At least those who are studying a little Vedanta should not say all that. So the moment you have who am I will always have an object. And there's always be a connection between the I and the object of knowledge. It can be anything. You're looking at this walls, tables, chairs, people, me, you, all these things are objects. You close your eyes and there are these objects. Where do they come from? Oh, from your memory. So the subject, object, and the connection between them is outside, inside, everywhere. So here Shankaracharya said, Jnatri, Jnana, Jneya, Bheda, the difference between these three is not in the Atman. No Atmani Vidyate. It's not in the Atman. Then where it is? It is in me. Yeah, it is in you. But that means you do not know the Atman yet. If you say, yeah, I and you and the connection between that, yes, you don't know the Atman yet. When you know the Atman, these three, they will dissolve. Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of a salt doll went to measure the ocean, and what it does, it melts. So these three differences, Jnatri, Jnana, Jnaya, melt. In what? The Atman. And here he says, Swayameva, it alone shines. What alone shines? The Atman. Oh, what is the Atman? The Atman. This people have gone crazy. And the Atman. It seems so dry. Vedanta seems so dry. Atman. What is this Atman? Here it is describing. Chidananda Aikarupatva. That is, Nikhilananda has translated, nature of exceeding bliss. Actually, it's translated, Chid is consciousness, Ananda is bliss. Not bliss when you get, you eat ice cream on a hot day. It's not like that. That bliss is inside, the tremendous bliss. On a particle of this bliss, a particle, this whole world becomes alive. Yes. This whole world gets only a particle of that bliss. Yeah, that's what Vedanta says. But what you get the whole thing. So you can imagine the Atman is this consciousness and bliss, Chit and Ananda. Wherever you have consciousness, people are running after consciousness. They are trying to study consciousness. Where is consciousness? And there's, oh God, they're crazy. And there's good. And we like fools, they're following them. And they say blind people, when they're trying to show the way, what happens? The other fellows also, blind people, they will fall in the ditch. Don't let a blind person lead you. Ande naiva niyamana yatanda. So this is like a blind leading them. It is said long time back in the Upanishads only. Don't follow those guys. So in consciousness. What? So you have to find where that consciousness is. Okay. Where it is. See the bliss there. We don't know that bliss. Yes, actually you know it. That particle, you get a little of that. You get. How is it manifested? Oh, in love. Oh, that is the place I have to search. That is the place. So get there. So wherever there is consciousness, there always has to be love. Not the crazy type of love again. I have to make a distinction, please. The whole world is running after love. But they cannot find it. It's like they're running after mirage. Don't run after love. Experience that love yourself. Your nature is love. Nature is love, yeah. Yes. That's the bliss. The manifestation of that bliss is love. So how you love, that's a bliss. So the Atman is this, nature of exceeding bliss. It translated like this. He should have mentioned consciousness and bliss. Chidananda Rupa. That's why it's called, Atman is called Chidananda. Chid, Ananda, Aika, one form. Aika Rupa, of one form. How many Atmans are there? Oh, he has got one Atman, I've got one Atman. No. These too many things Vedanta does not like and does. What too many things? So it will create confusion. They were very logical. Too many people, too many things will always create a confusion. Holy Mother used to say, like when too many people are together, there will always be clashes. Like you have a lot of pots and pans, and there will always be bumping into each other. They said, no, we don't want any bumping into each other. We just want one. And they brought it down to one. There is no many Atmans. What? Yeah. But I am the Atman there. Yeah. For now. It's a temporary Atman. And you have been happy with it and miserable also with it. All right. Like just in the beginning, like you had your run, you had your fun. Now it's getting, we better drop that. So there is one Atman and you are that. So the knower, the known, and that which connects them, they melt away. And what remains? This exceeding, superlative bliss. That alone shines. Dipyate swayameva. That alone shines. But what about this knower, knowledge and all this? What is the nature of this? Final, just before you're going towards the very end, the Bhagavad Gita says, that is the light of even all the lights, that which is beyond darkness. Jyotisham apita jyoti tamasa paramuchyati. Beyond all. The light of this light, we have so many lights. This light that's connected finally to electromagnetism and then the sun and this and that. This is the light of even all the lights. Of all the material lights, of all the subtle lights, everything. This is the light of all lights. As the Bhagavad Gita, Tameva Bhantam, that shining, everything shines. You are living because that is shining. That's why in the Vespers, here, if you have just read those hymns, sang this hymn, come to the heart's black cave and illumine, thou light of the light. Swamiji was correct there. And then he says, the Bhagavad Gita says, Jnanam Gneyam Jnanagamyam Hridi Sarvasya. Where exactly is this Triputi Bhed? This difference where? Hridi, in the heart. Hridi. Sarvasya, of everybody. Avishtitam. Adhishtitam. It is established in the heart of everybody. Oh, my heart is now so hurt. It's so depressed. I've got cholesterol there. It has to be. No, we are not talking about the cholesterol. We are not talking about blocked arteries. We are not talking about them. What we are talking is the heart. In those days, they meant the heart means the core of your being, the very basis. Nobody has seen their heart. They have seen their physical heart. That is pictures they have not seen their heart. We assume that we have a heart. Nobody has seen. We see pictures and the X-ray. There it is. You've seen pictures. You have not seen your own heart. You've seen it. But you feel it. So here in the heart means there in the very basis of your being, in that these three are there. And then when you are now undertaking the meditation on the Atman, what do you say? What is the nature of this light of all lights? What is light? You switch it on. No, it's always like that. It's like the sun. Swayam Prakasha, always shining. It does not need another light. So this light and sun, etc., are symbols meant to show that it is consciousness, it is knowledge. Okay. Jnanam, Gnayam. What is this to be known? What is this to be known? Brahman, the reality. And when it is known, it becomes Jnanagamyam. It is known by knowledge. The only thing you can do here is, but what about love, devotion? That is included in this. So there you understand it. Oh, the knower, the knowledge, and the object of knowledge, they dissolve. But before dissolving, what happens is, it's like here, the subject is here, the object is here, and this connects. They come together, closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. At one point of time, they will fuse. That's why you have to be in knowledge. You have to, how do you get this knowledge? Not saying, who am I? Sure, definitely. It is by meditation. So it is meditation, slowly and slowly and slowly. The object and the subject come close together, closer and closer and closer. So Swamiji, when he gave a lecture in Harvard, so those philosophers in the philosophy department here at Harvard, so they said, so the subject merges in the object? No, the object merges in the subject. So everything merges in there. Where's the subject merging in the object? That we don't want that. The object. What is the object? The object of knowledge is the reality, the idea of reality, and that slowly, and then what happened? That alone shines. Swayameva dipyate. As I said, it alone shines. The Supreme Self, on account of its being of the nature of exceeding bliss, does not admit of the distinction of the knower, knowledge, and the object of knowledge. It alone shines. So the Supreme Self, the Supreme Self, he has translated like that, the Atman as Supreme Self. That's okay. The lower self is the Jiva Self. So as long as you are a Jiva, you will have these distinctions. Okay. So in the note is in the lower Samadhi, known as Savikalpa Samadhi, the distinction of knower, knowledge, and object is perceived. But this distinction disappears in the higher Samadhi called Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, all melts away. So how is this? Samadhi is so not for us. So what is there for you? You can get everything if you go to the right place. Yeah. If you go to the grocery store and then you say, I want a car, you will not get a car there. They will say, you go to that showroom there. So you must know where to go. Okay. Then it becomes easy. But apart from that, what is this Savikalpa and Nirvikalpa? What is this crazy thing? In Vedanta, we have these two things. Every time we see something, when you see, there is an abstract way you perceive it. Like, you see a thing, and then in that next instant, it snaps into focus. Ah, that's a camera. You see somebody, who's that? Oh, that's my friend, Joey. Oh, all right. So these follow simultaneously. Because the brain is now designed, the mind is designed like that. You don't have to see everything. Hi Joey, hi Tim, hi Judy, hi this, hi that. No. Just look at it. And then Joey says, hi. There. Tuck, it focuses. So there is a kind of a diffused perception and tuck, then it. Okay. So perception also is nirvikalpaka without any kind of object. It's more like a kind of objectless, diffuse, more diffused, not objectless, more diffused. And then suddenly tuck, it comes and, oh, this is what it is. So in samadhi also it's like something like this. Savikalpa samadhi is kind of focused. Oh, this is what it is. Oh, I'm meditating on Sri Ramakrishna. And then meditating, and after some time that it disappears. That form gets diffused. In that state, all these three, they dissolve. The three differences dissolve. As long as there is that focus, that you have these three things, it's savikalpaka. Okay? I think now you can understand these things. So, when you are looking at a particular thing, you know, oh, this is nice, this is not nice, this is far, this is near, this is I like and this is I don't like, and this is shiny, this is not shiny. All these things, qualities are there. But the moment, and that's why the knower, the object of knowledge, etc., etc. But the moment that goes away, it becomes. So that's, so something, oh, I don't, Savikalpa and Nirvikalpa is so far away. You know. It's beyond the solar system, looks like. No. It is part of your own perception. Again, how these rishis, they found out all these things. Amazing. And that's why they are called seers of truth. They see what is true. And they have said. And people are trying to disprove them. What? How can you disprove truth? Oh, those guys, they never knew anything. They used to have a long beard, long hair. They used to wear Rudraksha beads, eat fruits and roots and this and that and meditate. What do they know about the mystery of the universe and God and soul and all of that? Those are the guys who knew. You better go now to them. Yeah. Not to us, clean shaven and this and that. Don't come to us. All those guys come, go there to them. So we are all very polished and we are nice and this and that. We eat nicely, dress nicely, and then go there to those stages. They knew, they saw, and they'll tell you. And I'm taking something from what they have said a little and elaborating. This is what is, so this Savikalpa, Nirvikalpa is part of you only. It's not somewhere going far. And again, knowledge, the knower and the object of knowledge is there in your own heart. Riddhi Sarvas, in your own heart. This is what Vedanta is. No going to hell. No going to heaven also. But I want to go to hell. There are some fellows who... No, at least you all are trying to go to heaven. Don't worry. But you don't know. There are these satanic worshippers. They want to go to hell. Our friend, we've been worshipping that fellow. We want to go there. Is it? Yes, these things are there. So don't go to hell, don't go to heaven, go within. That's Vedanta says. Saves you a lot of time. The direct result of meditation and other spiritual disciplines practiced for the purpose of realization of oneness is described. So, by constant meditation, comparable to the rubbing of the firewood, is kindled the flame of knowledge, which completely burns up the fuel of ignorance. So this is, he always illustrates it with fuel and fire and burns, the fuel and all the ignorance. And the fire is meditation. Burns. Like in the Bhagavad Gita, yatai dhangshi samidhogni. Like all the fuel is burnt to ashes by the fire. Similarly, the fire of knowledge burns to ashes everything that is unholy there in you. Now, by constant meditation, he's saying satatam dhyanam matane satatam kriti. All constantly. Yes, there will come a time when your mind is so used to meditation, you can, even with your eyes open and you're doing work, you'll do it meditatively. You will talk, walk, live meditatively. It's not, oh, I have to do meditation this time. Yeah, do that. And this time also, yeah, do that. And in the middle also, yeah, do that. But there's then an undercurrent that begins, which takes over slowly and slowly and slowly. Like you've had a nice dinner, and then you're going back home on the way. You're still thinking, what a wonderful time. And you go to sleep also, and next morning also, yesterday I had a wonderful sleep. Then you tell your friends also, hey, yesterday I had. If ordinary things can influence you like that, meditation also influence. So, of course, you've got to start at least, okay? And it takes a few years for that to start building up, okay? So that's why, don't get frightened, satatam, always, 24 hours. But what about eating? What about sleeping? Again, go back to those rishis. They knew what they were saying. Now, they're talking about the comparable to the rubbing of the firewood. It's called arani. Now, arani, in the days, we discovered fire long time back. We could see fire, forest fires, and all the lightning and strikes. So we knew what is fire, but we didn't know how to harness it initially. When we knew, they say that the moment, the day we learned to harness fire and somebody put some food inside, it tastes better. And they started eating. Our brain we started getting better nutrition. We could digest things better. So our brains started growing. But that's the theory. Okay, doesn't worry. So we, for millions of years, in the hominid species, we were there. We knew what is fire. So forest fires, at the edge of the forest fire, we used to go and take. That's why all ancient cultures were fire worshippers. All. Or sun worshippers. All of them. Even Zoroastrianism, that one of the oldest religions, they were fire worshippers. We were fire worshippers. Agni, from where you get ignition, ignite, all that. Everywhere you'll see the worship of light and fire. How to harness it? These guys now, they understood fire is like a burning, and finally you put fuel, wood into it, and so there must be fire in the wood also. So they should take arani was the type of tree, and they used to cut you can see, strips of that, and they used to rub it against each other. Rubbing. Yeah, we don't know. That's how we actually harnessed fire. We put a kind of bore a small hole in that, put some wood shavings, and we did that, or took a bow and it ignited. Now, even before that, they should take 2 sticks, tie it together and then whirl it round. They knew all that. And it used to spark. Yeah, nice way. And that fire was taken and used in the yajna, homas. That was the old way. In India, still some traditional homas are done like that only, to the Aranis. Okay, so that constant meditation, comparable to the rubbing of the firewood, is kindled a flame of knowledge. So those wood shavings, they ignite, which completely burns the fuel of ignorance. All the fuel of ignorance burnt. Wonderful, huh? There are various references to it. In the Shvetashvatra Upanishad, he has quoted from the Kaivalya Upanishad. The note, compare a sage thinks of his mind as a lower piece of sacrificial wood, and Om is a higher piece. Through the practice of constant friction between them, that is to say, through intense thinking, he kindles a fire of knowledge which burns. So your body is one piece of wood, which is, of course, and Om is another piece of wood. And then when they are both rubbed together. That's why all the mantras and everything starts with Om. So constantly they are the friction. So you're asked to repeat constantly. They're saying, I repeated 3 times yesterday, 5 times today, nothing happened. Constantly said. Constantly you got to. So as you repeat it constantly, then that acts as a friction. And that friction will ignite. They say knowledge comes from the Om. If you want to know the secret of the universe, know the secret of Om. Yes. So, there is even the Shvetashvatra Upanishad, Swadeham Aranim Kritva Pranavam Chauttarayane. Even in the Shvetashvatra Upanishad, they say, make your body, Swadeha, the lower piece of wood, and the Om, Pranavam, the higher piece of wood, and then. So the first note, meditation, the unbroken flow of consciousness towards the object. Meditation should be practiced for a long time and with great love for the ideal. He's kind of paraphrasing what Patanjali said. Satu dirgha kala nairantarya. For a long time, without interruption, satkara sevad, with great love for that. You must have love. People if you don't have love for the Atman or for God, why there is no love? You have taken that love and sold it in the marketplace of the world. Yeah. That is why you don't have love for God. Why can't we love God? Yeah, you sold it. Take. So, that's like, Sri Ramakrishna used to sing that song. I have sold my whatever I have to the marketplace of the world, and I've brought Durga's name. And now with that Durga's name, I'm going to cross all obstacles. So if you want to sell your love, Sell it to something which will give you something. The name of Durga. Sell your love to the Guru. Then it will get you there. So we don't have love for God. Yeah. You have love, I know, but you wasted it. Rubbing. So here he says, in ancient India, the sacrificial fire was kindled by the rubbing of two pieces. So why even now that we have lighters and kind of flints and matchsticks and all these things, in India, whatever was old became sacred. Everything old, oh, very sacred. They will do that. This temple is 3,000 years old. Oh, why are you doing that? The archaeologists will go and search and, we will do namaskar. It's instinctive. Anything old becomes sacred. So the old methods are like, Swamiji said, in the old days, birch bark was used to write. So now that birch bark has become sacred. We will take it in. That's why people, even now the modern books are there, religious books, they will do it like this. Yeah, they will make pranam. By mistake, if you touch your foot or something like that, or some saliva, will do. They're not doing it for the book. They're doing for that wisdom there which is in the book. Because this is the Lord's words. These are ancient, very ancient teachings. So we are doing. So the Swami Ranganathan, he was one of the great monks, and he later became the president of the order, 13th president. He has been here to Seattle. He traveled all over the world. He should tell people, instead of just in the morning you'll get up, take an incense stick, wave it around a book, and then make pranams, I think you better open the book and read what is. So the Bhagavad Gita, they put flowers, they put incense, and they read at least what is there. So the idea is anything that's old. So the way you do it in the old way, foolish fellows, they make it nicely. So sometime back, one of our members had gone to one temple. So he went to a temple and then they said, no, you cannot go with your trousers and shirts. Huh? What is this? Why? What's wrong with that? No, you've got to wear a dhoti and then take a chadar and all. What's wrong? You can. No, that was the old way. So, okay. So once you understand the rationale behind it, then you can go along with it. Somebody will not going to fight. What's wrong? At least I have some clothes and I'm going, what's wrong? The mind is compared to the lower piece and Om to the upper. Meditation is a friction. That is to say, meditation is intense thinking upon Atman as Brahman with the help of the repetition of symbol of Om. So, Om. Constantly. That's a friction. Suppose somebody comes and tells me, you guys are useless, you're fools, you're this, that. I listen, and then after some time, then I start becoming hot. I start sweating, then I get angry. Friction. Thought. Friction. I'm only thinking, why is that person saying all these things? And now not one person, two persons have come and they are telling me, you're useless, you're hopeless, you're this, you're that. And these thoughts are now coming, and then those conflicts there within me. That's heat. You noticed? Then your hands shiver, your legs shake, then you're angry, then the ball of fire, and then fiery things come out of you. What do you mean? Fire. So with these fellows, when they're talking about it, but in many places it happens. In society, you all know. There's too much heat will give you what, diseases. Oh yeah. Too much of conflict, too much of friction inside. Your mind, Maharaj, my mind is very restless. Better take it easy. Otherwise you'll get diseases. The diseases are because of this. Mind is restless. Constantly. On high vibration. You will get illness, you will get so many things. So that's a different thing. So fire. So instead of that useless friction, they take this friction. Om and the mind. And okay. Flame of knowledge, that is to say the knowledge of the identity of the self and Brahman. Okay. So the identity, we are always searching for identity. You notice? I want to get identified with this. There are some people will get identified with crazy things. Oh, I like this. I cannot live without this. I need you. I want you. After some time, that's a mistake, looks like. But then you're already identified. We want to identify. You see one thing once, second time, third time, and you're caught. You're getting identified. That's why Sri Ramakrishna used to say, there was one Swami who had come. He used to not look at a thing 2 times. You're not getting caught. We are identified with the world, with people, with things, with animals, plants, birds, beasts, with everything, good and bad. We are identified. Always. We are always searching. Like I said, who am I? We are searching for our identity. Who am I? Going around. We want identity. We want an identity. But you are your own identity. That will not do. This I has to be linked with something. Otherwise, this I is useless. And people will say, you know who I am? No. I've got 1 million bucks in my bank. So that this is not simple I, it is linked to something. Always. You know who I am? You're trying to tell me. There are people. Whom are you talking to? You know who am I? They've identified themselves. Identity. So again, when you hear people say, who am I? You always try to find. They are identified with something. Now this, I want to get identified with something. So they are saying the best thing you do is get identified yourself with God. The Atman has to be identified with Brahman. Otherwise it's useless. You know who I am? You see, again, these sages, they knew all these things. The I is not just simple. It has to have an object. Always. And you get identified with it. You need identification to survive. Then you're identified with your body. You're identified with your mind. You're identified with your qualities. You're identified with your likes and dislikes. Everywhere. So brush them aside and get identified with the Brahman side. So the last verse is quoted there. He whose works are consumed in the fire of knowledge, he by the wise, is called a sage. Yeah. Yatai dangshi samidogni bhasmatat kurute. Yanagni dagdaka tamahu panditam buddha. So he's called. See, that person is called wise. Nowadays, wisdom is everywhere, especially on the internet. You want to know something, you'll get 20 things, all different things. You become very wise. That's not wisdom. Wisdom is when you have made whatever you have studied your own. There's a saying now, which I really like. Own it. Yeah, own it. Own it. How does that happen? How do you own it? You better struggle for it, work for it. And that work is meditation. Okay. We stop here for today. We take this up after a summer recess, which begins on Monday and which will extend to September 6th. In the meantime, tomorrow is Karma Yoga at the retreat, and that is in preparation for the Sunday's Mother's Luncheon by the guest Swami Satyamayananda. He will be speaking on dynamic meditation on the Holy Mother. So it includes music and children's play. It's a potluck luncheon. So I think it's registration, I think it's full. Everybody registered. But you can take your chances. There are always some people who register and they forget or they don't want to go. Okay, there are no questions here, and the in-person questions can be taken up there. Yeah. However, every evening we will have a Vespers and meditation. Yeah. And morning pujas, of course. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.